Hey guys, this is Hunter with You Don't Know Ball, and today we're going to be looking at Tom Fornelli's mock draft. I'm going to put it as 2.0 on my channel. He might have more previous to the ones where I did the 1.0, but just going to label them like that so it's easier to follow along. He is with CBS. As always, if you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe. Leave a like. Let me know in the comments your favorite pick from this mock draft, your least favorite pick. Also, if there's some other content that you guys are interested in seeing on this channel, let us know. I know me and Dobbs are working on some prospect lists. We have our top 15 prospects coming out tomorrow, and then we'll probably do some more videos like that as we get closer to the draft. Obviously, Combine Week is this week. So yeah, let's get right into it. This is a blind mock draft, by the way, so I have not seen any of these picks so far. At number 1, we have Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears. What a surprise, what a surprise. He goes, did you hear Justin Fields unfollowed the Bears on Instagram? Yeah, I heard that too. I also heard Justin Fields' explanation for it. I know he said like he didn't want to see football on his timeline, and like I don't really care that he unfollowed. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but at the end of the day, I think he knows he's probably going to be traded in the next couple weeks, probably before free agency, and he probably just wanted to get it over with. I mean, I would be pretty exhausted of all the talk as well. I think Caleb Williams to the Bears is pretty, I don't want to say set in stone, but pretty much this is kind of what it is. At number 2, we have the Falcons trading up with the Washington Commanders. He goes, in this scenario, the Commanders had their hearts set on Williams, and once he's off the board, they decide to move down. The Falcons are more than happy to accommodate and swoop in to get the quarterback they hope can lead an offense with plenty of talent. Like every rookie quarterback, the reigning Heisman winner has kinks to work out, but his talent is enticing. Now, here's what I will say. If the Patriots are unwilling to move off of pick number 3, then I get trading up. But for Jaden Daniels is kind of interesting to me. I would have preferred a Drake May. I mean, some people are higher on Jaden Daniels. I just don't like how long it took him to kind of break out. And I would imagine this trade from 2 to 8 is pretty rich. I wish he would have had the trade terms in there. Let's actually see if he has anything up top. I don't see that. So, I was really hoping he would have like the trade terms in there, but I guess not. I would imagine it would probably be like next year's first, pick swap, maybe a second, and then like a 4th or 5th. Like it would take a lot to move up, in my opinion. At number 3, we have the New England Patriots taking Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think this is pretty set in stone. If, I don't want to say set in stone, actually. I think Drake May here would be the better pick, strictly because it's like you're probably expecting Jaden Daniels to fall to you, and then at that point I understand taking Marvin Harrison Jr. But with where the Patriots are in terms of like their roster, it might be better to trade this pick to get like a treasure trove of picks. So it's like you can build for the future. But if you want to take the best prospect in the draft, I don't know who's going to be throwing him the ball unless you go out and get a vet. So I don't know. I feel like you could get more value if you trade this pick, but if you really believe Marvin Harrison Jr., it would be the right pick here. I have a hard time believing that Drake May falls out of the top 3. At number 4, we have the Minnesota Vikings trading up and taking Drake May. So when me and Dobbs did our mock draft 4.0, we had the Vikings trading with the Patriots to go up and get Drake May. And this, I think, would be a very, very good spot for him. You have Justin Jefferson, you have Jordan Addison, you have TJ Hawkinson, and then, you can go get a running back. You'd be putting him with Kevin O'Connell in a great spot to succeed. As a Bears fan, I would hate this, but at the same time, I think with the Vikings moving forward and wanting to give peace of mind to Justin Jefferson, that if he signs this long deal here, you're going to have a quarterback succession plan. And I know a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't, whatever. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in football. And he will get paid the most amount of money of any receiver, whatever team he goes to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he tears his ACL this year. He is going to get I don't want to say tear ACL, has a season-ending injury, let's just say. Any team is going to be willing to pay him. I promise you that. So getting your guy and trading up to get that guy, because it's like, how much longer can you run it with Kirk Cousins? So at number 5, we have Joe Alt to the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this makes a lot of sense for them. At the end of the day, I know Chargers fans probably want a skill position, but if Alt is there at 5, which I really believe he will, and you have your pick of the tackles, he is just such a high floor guy. To pair him with Rashawn Slater, with Jim Harbaugh probably doing a pretty run-heavy offense. Like, I know he does run heavy, but I also feel like he'll air it out. Joe Alt is good in both pass and run protection, and putting him with Rashawn Slater, you have Trey Pipkins, who's on a one. I think he has one more year left. But at the end of the day, or maybe did he sign an extension? Sorry, I'm blanking on that. I can't remember. But you get the best tackle prospect in the class, and there's nothing more important than protecting your quarterback. Nothing flashy here, but it makes a lot of sense. At number 6, we have the New York Giants taking Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers in any other draft, in last year's draft probably would have been wide receiver 1. And just because Marvin Harrison Jr. is here, it is super, super interesting to see where they go at quarterback. Because regardless of who's playing quarterback for the New York Giants, they have never had like a dominant pass catcher. And Malik Nabers can be that alpha wide receiver 1 for them. And whether they go get a vet in free agency, whether they run it back with Danny Dimes, whether they run it or trade for Justin Fields, which I saw some crazy rumor out there. I don't believe it's true, but I mean, Fields with Dable, it'd be very interesting. I mean, he did kind of develop Josh Allen. I don't know. There's a lot of scenarios that the Giants could go. I think Malik Nabers is the right pick here, though. At number 7, we have J.C. Latham going to the Tennessee Titans. This is the highest I've seen Latham go. I like Latham a lot. I think he's a very, very good pass blocker. He's not bad in the run game, but pass blocking is definitely his strength, and I think that has to do with his size. I believe he's 6'6", like 360 or 330. I keep messing that up, but it's something in between those. He's huge, huge, huge. To pair him up with Peter Skoronski, I think is a really good idea because you get like a stable pass blocker, and I think J.C. Latham has a pretty high floor. I would say a higher floor than maybe Olu has. I think Olu can be like a top 5 tackle in the league, like ceiling-wise. But I can just see how he could also like struggle in the league. Oh, bro, I was tweaking so hard. It says the weight and height right here. 6'6", 360. My apologies. But then, okay, so yeah, Olu with Peter Skoronski out of protect Will Levis makes sense. At number 8, we have the Washington Commanders taking Olu Fashanu, which I think makes a lot of sense. They need to protect whoever they're going to have playing at quarterback, whether that is Sam Howell. And their O-line, I mean, like, who really on that O-line is someone where you're like, wow, we have a building block for the next 10 to 15 years. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So you go get your guy here in Olu. You know he's going to be a good pass protector. And to get him at 8, it's crazy. At 8, there's already 3 tackles off the board. But this is, okay, so I will say I like this with Tom with this mock draft. These are scenarios that we're not seeing very often, and he's mixing it up. Whether this is the likelihood of any of this shit happening, I don't know. I don't think it's probably going to be like this, but at the end of the day, we have to think. We have no clue what these teams are going to do, at least right now. So I think we need to go through all the progressions and know kind of what we might see on draft night. At number 9, we have the Steelers trading up with the Chicago Bears to take J.J. McCarthy. This is, in my opinion, an absolutely strange pick. Just wild. Because the issue with Kenny Pickett is a lot of people didn't see him as a first-round quarterback. And I know there's a lot of news coming out that J.J. McCarthy is being viewed as like a top 15 pick. But the thing with Kenny Pickett was like people didn't think he was like a first round QB. So it's like you're going to trade up to go get a guy who has similar, I don't want to say, I mean, similar. I don't want to compare them as prospects. I haven't I haven't gone through my quarterbacks yet completely in my prospect, like watching tape and everything like that. But I just find it strange if you're going to replace Kenny Pickett to do it with a J.J. McCarthy. Steelers fans, let me know. It's very weird. At number 10, we have the New York Jets going Rome Odunze. Why? You need O-line. I understand Rome Odunze and Garrett Wilson would be ridiculous, but at the same time, what are you doing with Aaron Rodgers? Like, is he going to be running for his life the whole play? We watched the Jets last year and their offensive line struggles. Why would you go back into this small window with Aaron Rodgers with the same issues? At number 11, we have Nate Wiggins. So we have our first corner off the board. Okay, let's read this. He said, Nate Wiggins is my top corner in the class. He has the size and athleticism to play the position well, and while that's the most important thing, he also has the winning attitude you need in a defensive player. I'll never forget him chasing down North Carolina's Omarion Hampton to save a touchdown and force a fumble that led to a touchback earlier this season. He was the only player on the field who believed he could make the play, and he did. So I think Nate Wiggins will be a good corner in the league. But to take him at 11 in front of like Terrion Arnold and like a Quinyon Mitchell, I get it. Like, I get the appeal. I just think it's a little rich for him. And also something I don't like about this mock that Tom did is he didn't put the trade compensation. Like, I need to know why the Cardinals feel comfortable taking a corner. I mean, not a corner, like Nate Wiggins at 11. I don't know. And maybe he may test off the charts at the combine. But I don't know. That remains to be seen. These are all thought-provoking exercises. At number 12, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking Dallas Turner. I think the guys, I don't think the Broncos are interested in Bo Nix. I could be wrong, and there's a long way to go until April. And I don't think they want a Michael Penix if at 12. They do need pass rush help. And Dallas Turner is arguably edge 1. So if you want one of the best edges in the class at 12, really like one of the first defensive players off the board, after Nate Wiggins, you get him in Dallas Turner. And Broncos aren't horrible really in any spots. Like, they're not like god awful in any spots, but they do need help on pass rush. And teams really do need like 2 to 3 dominant pass rushers to compete. At number 13, we have the Raiders taking Terrion Arnold. I like this pick a lot. I think it makes sense for them. I think the Raiders can compete, but I still think they have like a year or two before they start to really put it all together. And this year is going to be really big with Antonio Pierce running the helm. Terrion Arnold is a guy who he's probably going to struggle at the start. But if you watched his progression from this year at Alabama, he got so much better throughout the year. And I think he's going to do the same thing. And we got to remember, like, he is a sophomore. Like, he's a really young player, very physical and athletic. And I think you can get a lot out of him. At number 14, we have the New Orleans Saints taking Talisa Fuaga. To be able to get the fourth tackle at 14 is kind of crazy. But they really do need help on the offensive line. Obviously, Ryan Ramczyk's knee. You have Trevor Penning, who didn't really work out. And at some point, you have to just take more shots, because if you can't protect Derek Carr, you can't create like a run game, which you can really do with Fuaga because he is a dominant run blocker, then you might be cooking. And the thing is, the NFC South is going to be such it's so wide open yet so not. It's like every team can compete. I don't know about the Panthers right now, but every team can compete, and it's like, can you be the team that is just good enough to win the division? Like, that's really the issue. Is there's no crazy teams in the division. I think Atlanta should run away with it this year if they get the coach. If the coaches do it right, I think they have probably the most talent. But yeah, so we'll have to see. But I think it's a good pick for the Saints. At number 15, we have the Colts taking Brock Bowers. So I feel like this would make a lot of sense because you pair him with Michael Pittman Jr., who's definitely getting brought back, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and you throw Brock Bowers in there, you have a safety net for Anthony Richardson. And I think with the way that offense played last year, you put a dominant tight end in there that you can play in the slot. I think you're starting to cook with grease. I think, though, if Brock Bowers makes it to like 13, 15, and not to say that the Colts would trade out, but I feel like you see the Bengals make a move to go get him. I think the Bengals putting him in that offense with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase would just be nasty. At number 16, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking Jared Verse. You got Mike McDonald there, who was the defensive coordinator and now the head defensive coordinator in Baltimore. He's now the head coach of the Seahawks, and they have a really good secondary, a young secondary that you can work with. But in order for them to be good, you need a dominant pass rush, and Jared Verse is that guy. I think he is such a quick power rusher, and giving him a defensive head coach, I think he's somebody who is also like he's NFL ready, but if you put him in the right coaching scenario, I think he can be a very dangerous pass rusher as he learns his way in the NFL. At number 17, we have Cooper DeJean to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's read what he has to say here, because I wonder if he has him listed as a CB, but some teams are projecting him as a safety. He's always just there. If it's a run to the perimeter, DeJean sets the edge to force it back inside or blows it up before the play gets that far. I will credit him. He's a very good tackler and very good run stopper. In the pass game, he looks more comfortable in zone than man. Makes sense, but he somehow ends up around the ball always. Like I said, he's always there. I wouldn't hate this pick. I mean, I think the Jaguars could really go anywhere here for their pick, and it would make sense. They haven't really had a dominant cornerback room since they had Jalen Ramsey. At number 18, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking Marius Mims. I like this pick a lot. You might be losing Jonah Williams, and you also have Orlando Brown Jr., who's another massive tackle. So you're just going to have two massive tackles. And Marius Mims is really raw, but I think learning from, Orlando Brown Jr. and being in a successful team like the Bengals would do him wonders. Also, Joe Burrow can get the ball out very quick. So it's like he's not going to have to worry about pass blocking for like a ton of time every single play. So great pick for Cincinnati here. At number 19, we have Kool-Aid McKinstry to the Rams. He may be named Kool-Aid, but I wouldn't expect him to run through a brick wall anytime soon. Corny. Not for the lack of effort. He's more than happy to throw his body around, but due to the lack of overall size, that can lead to trouble against bigger, more physical receivers. Still, he can line up on different parts of the field and is smooth in coverage. Yeah, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a good all-around corner, and I think their corner room lacks like youth and depth. So it makes a lot of sense for the Rams to go CB1 here, or not CB1 here, like go a CB that can be like a first round talent in that room is more what I meant. So I like the pick for the Rams. I think any really pick here makes sense, even if it's an O-line pick, interior O-line. I would like that as well. At number 20, we have the Chicago Bears from the trade with the Steelers taking Jackson Powers-Johnson. The Bears have struggled with the center position for the last 2 years, and they just cut Cody Whitehair. Lucas Patrick is gone. Jackson Powers-Johnson is a plug-and-play day one starter for the Bears. Makes a lot of sense. You have Braxton Jones, you have Darnell Wright, you have Jackson Powers-Johnson, then you have Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins. If Tevin Jenkins can stay healthy and Nate Davis can play better than he did last year, that line is going to be pretty good this year. Like, especially if they have Caleb Williams, where he's not going to take forever to throw the ball and, his time to throw is... Well, the reason his time to throw was so bad was because his line was not that good in college and his receivers couldn't get open. So he had to create more plays with his legs and extend the play. It's not the reason that the time to throw with Justin Fields was so long. Different reasons, even though they both have high time to throws. At number 21, we have the Miami Dolphins taking Chop Robinson. Yeah, so they have Bradley Chubb. They have Jalen Phillips, right? Miami needs more pass rushers. They're going to lose Van Ginkel, and like I said earlier, I think dominant teams really do need like 3 pass rushers to be dominant. Chop has a very explosive first step. It can be that guy for the Miami Dolphins. I think he's moving his way up the boards, and I think he's going to really impress at the combine. He's still raw, but working under two like accomplished pass rushers could do a lot for him. He could learn a lot. At number 22, we have Quinyon Mitchell to the Philadelphia Eagles. If Quinyon Mitchell falls to the Eagles, you need to run that card in. You need first-round caliber talent in that cornerback room. Slay and Bradbury are getting older. You have Keely Ringo, you have Maddox, you have Ricks, but they are just not first-round guys. Get Quinyon Mitchell in there, and you vastly improve your secondary. At number 23, Sarah's going to love this one. We have Jerzon Newton to the Houston Texans. Interior D lineman, put him next to Will Anderson Jr. if they bring back Grenard. This will give D'Amico Ryans a force from the inside and will vastly improve that that D-line even more than it improved last year. Really like this pick for the Texans. At number 24, great pick for the Dallas Cowboys. We have Troy Fontenot. He's someone who can play tackle. He played tackle at the college level. He can move inside. You have a lot of I don't want to say holes on the O-line, but a lot of areas like that you need to fix. So Tyron Smith, getting older. He's 33. He's also a free agent. You don't know if he's going to be there. So if he doesn't come back, Fontenot can play tackle. And then I believe Biadas is also a free agent. So you have multiple holes that you possibly need to fill. And Fontenot, I mean, obviously this is all dependent on free agency that happens in about 3 weeks. But Fontenot can play any of those positions, so you get a guy with versatility, and it makes a lot of sense for them. At number 25, this is the first time I've seen him mocked here, even though I like it a lot. Tyler Nubin to the Green Bay Packers. They need a safety. They need help in the secondary room. Nubin is a lot of people's safety one. I also would have liked Cam Kitchens here. I think he gives a little bit of spark to that defense in the secondary. I think that explosiveness and rawness and center field like ability. I don't think Tyler Nubin is bad, just not nearly as athletic as Cam Kitchens. But Nubin is a safer option. He knows what he needs to do and where he's going to be. He's also not afraid to lay a hit on somebody. Good pick for the Packers. At number 26, we have Keon Coleman to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, sir. If Mike Evans walks, you have Chris Godwin, you have Trey Palmer, you have Cade Otton, Baker Mayfield, I'm assuming is going to be there. Big body wide receiver that'll go up and get the ball. At number 27, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking Laiatu Latu, so they are attacking the defense here. They got Laiatu Latu and Nate Wiggins. Honestly, there's no right or wrong to do here. They also could have gone tackle like a Tyler Guyton or a Jordan Morgan. I think that's a good range for these guys. But at the end of the day, Dennis Gardeck should not be your edge rusher one. And Latu, outside of the medicals, has a lot of upside. He has a lot of finesse, and he's very, very good. So it makes a lot of sense for the Cardinals here to really build in those trenches. At number 28, we have Brian Thomas Jr. going to the Buffalo Bills. Yes, sir. Big body wide receiver, pair him with Stephon Diggs. Even if Stephon Diggs maybe has lost a step, I don't think he necessarily has. I just think he was a little off last season. You're most likely going to lose Gabe Davis in free agency. Khalil Shakir, Stephon Diggs, Brian Thomas Jr., Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. You need to be able to win with that. At number 29, we have the Detroit Lions going Mike Sandstrill. I think he is a good player and will be like a good complementary piece to a DB room in the NFL. But pick 29 is extremely rich for him, in my opinion. So I like positionally, yes, but the player just not. I don't know. Don't know about that. I get what he's saying. Like, he's a Michigan player, and he is he loves the game, but I don't know. At number 30, we have the Patriots trading with the Baltimore Ravens. This is not the first time I've seen this. And going to get Bo Nix, so you get your quarterback later in the round. So this was the play the whole time. Get the best wide receiver in the class, and then go get a quarterback late first round. Then you get the rookie fifth-year option on him. So I can understand the passing on Drake May a little bit more now, even though I think I wouldn't want to be the team to find out if Bo Nix is the answer or not. I think I'm more willing to take that risk on a Drake May, especially if he falls to me at 3. But great pick for the New England Patriots, who need, and I'm not saying great pick because of the player, great pick because you need new blood in that quarterback room. You cannot run it back with Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones. At number 31, you have Tyler Guyton to the San Francisco 49ers. This makes a lot of sense. You have Trent Williams, who is probably going to be done in the next couple of years. Then you have McKivitz, who, I don't know if you want to go into the year with him. Guyton can be that guy who doesn't play right away, and you implement him sort of like the Steelers did with Broderick Jones last year. Don't let him play at the start. Give him some time to develop, get NFL ready, and then play him. Guyton is a project, but can be very, very good. He's a 6'7", 330-pound tackle who can be very good for the San Francisco 49ers. And the final pick of the draft, we have the Kansas City Chiefs going Byron Murphy. So I'm assuming Chris Jones might be gone. It says Chris Jones said he will be back, but the emotions of the victory parade sometimes overwhelm the senses, and a huge contract offer from somewhere else can snap a player out of it. If he does leave, Byron Murphy II will make plenty of sense for the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, he was kind of iffy this year, but the Chiefs have had success with these late-round pass rushers. Look at George Karlaftis. I think that was a really good pick by them. But yeah, the Chiefs just need to fill in where they need. I think a wide receiver here would make sense. You could get like a Troy Franklin. I think that would be a very good pick. But yeah, overall, I really did like this mock draft from Tom Fornelli, and it's a little bit different. All the trades make it interesting, and the Bears get, Caleb Williams and an interior lineman. Think that makes a lot of sense for them. And, the Vikings get their quarterback in the future. So let me know in the comments what your favorite pick was and your least favorite pick. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Like I said, leave a comment. As again, let us know what you guys want to see. We're going to work on prospect rankings, but if there's any other draft-centric stuff that you guys want us to try, very open and interested to hearing what you guys have to say. Have a great day. Thank you.